Welcome to a special edition of Dive Top of the Waves. In this edition, we feature our good friend and collaborator, Jon Carmichael, who is also known on Twitter as Photographer Jon. Jon's photograph of the eclipse has been called one of history's most amazing photographs that was taken from a Southwest Airlines flight. His dream is to be selected as one of the photographers by the Dear Moon Project. As a part of getting the attention of the Dear Moon Project, Dive worked with our partners at Twitter and Twitter Studio to create a poem to complement Jon's photograph. Our mission was to take over as many billboards as we could with this poem and of Jon's eclipse photo. On Black Friday in November 2018, we completed this mission and took over billboards not only in Times Square, but across 1,100 billboards in the United States. As time passes, the message in this poem resonates with both Jon and I, as captured in this interview. Hi, Jon. Welcome to the Dive Top of the Wave segments.
Hello. Thanks for having
me. We're just thrilled about the project we worked together with you on in 2019, and we were doing a little review of taking the amazing eclipse photo in your story into Out of Home.
Yeah, it was a wild ride. It was really impressive what you all did and how it actually worked. Everything we had envisioned for so long and worked so hard for, and the way it came together was just pretty unreal. I remember when you brought up it being a possibility, and I was just jumping for joy. I couldn't even sleep. But I thought, like, there's no way, like too good to be true sort of thing. And it actually worked out amazingly. And you and Mike and the whole team just heard the story and saw the photo, and you saw what Dear Moon Project was trying to do, sending artists to the moon for the first time, hopefully in 2023 or 24. And I can't think of something I'd want to be a part of more, even though it's going to be terrifying for whoever goes up, but it's going to be daring. But I just think it's so important what they're doing, and for you guys to hear the story. And I was hardly an acquaintance at the time, and everyone at Dive Network just said, we need to help bring awareness to this. And within a couple months, you guys, I feel like I didn't do much on my behalf. You and Twitter worked together and donated your time and put together this incredible, we called it the Tweet Me to the Moon campaign, and took over 1,100 billboards nationwide. On Black Friday, we blacked out advertising and darkened 1,100 screens across the U.S. and eclipsed advertising with my eclipse photo. And we included a bunch of different hashtags that the Dear Moon Project was using, hashtag Dear Moon and hashtag One World Together, and a lot of phrases to connect people to space and to unite people. And I like to think of it as we reenacted the moon shadow moving across the U.S., which is
very good.
Which
That's so good.
That really is how I've never told you that. That's how I envisioned it. I thought it was another eclipse and the moon shadow darkening 1,100 billboards across the country, and then the grand finale was Times Square. Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me?
both ends of Times Square.
Oh, yeah.
The infamous, the famous NASDAQ screen, and the largest, most high definition screen. I think it's 17,000 square foot screen, 8K. Is that right?
Yeah.
So, and you guys at Dive worked with Twitter on doing the whole animation and working on the copy, and we actually did a haiku poem, because the person that's putting this together, he's a multi-billionaire Japanese entrepreneur named Yusaku Maezawa, and so we kind of went off of what the Dear Moon Project did, with their campaign and sort of implemented that branding. And you guys just did it so beautifully. And we all met up in Times
Yeah.
Square on Black Friday of all days, and the screens just went black, and everybody, all of the tourists just were, and this is prior to the COVID-19 pandemic, so it was jam packed on Black Friday, the biggest commercial day of the year, and I remember tourists. I mean, we were just running around like crazy, just couldn't believe what was happening, and the tourists were, "What is that? What is that?" It must have been the largest display of an eclipse in history.
Yeah.
I
We
doubt
did
that
it.
there's ever been an eclipse that large. Just in Manhattan, it was probably, I don't know, 9 stories tall, because we started out
Yeah.
close up on the eclipse and panned out, and oh gosh, it was crazy. So, um, yeah, that's sort of,
No, thank you for taking me back in time because sometimes the memories are so good I can barely believe them. I can barely
I
believe that we
know.
pulled it off. So thank
I
you.
still can't believe it. I pinch myself, and still to this day, if I show people those Deer Moon Times Square shots, I mean, people can't believe it. And the Deer Moon project, I mean, I can't say too much, but all that we worked on, it was to get their attention, and let's just say it worked. They
Yeah.
retweeted everything, and they actually have reached out to me, and so obviously everything's a bit on hold right now, but it's happening. The Starship rocket, SpaceX just did their 150-meter hop with the rocket and had a successful landing, which is crazy. Nobody thought that it was actually going to land successfully, but it's happening. It's getting built, and somebody's going to the moon. I don't know who, but but I would
That's
like
great, Jon.
to kind of do another reintroduction to them. That, hey, I still want to go. Let's do
Yeah.
this. You know, because I have to admit, I was thinking this might actually happen, and if it does, am I really ready? Because this is a scary, this is you're going to be guinea pigs on this brand new rocket, the largest rocket that will ever exist, going to the moon for the first time ever since the Apollo mission. In 50 years we haven't been back to the moon, and to come back safely is
Gives me chills. I'm excited for you.
yeah, it would be one of the most terrifying but yet rewarding, most incredible things to be a part of. So I am still very hopeful. I think nobody did anywhere close to what we did and what you guys did and what Twitter did to bring awareness for an artist to be up there, and they know that too. um, and it just shows that people have heart. People, when somebody has a goal and a passion, especially something as big as this, people, there's goodness in people that to use their resources and to help out. And I just can't believe you and I had just met pretty much, and
Hours in.
yeah,
We were hours in.
it was that day, actually, the day we met. You said, "You know what? We're gonna do something about this," and I was like, "Okay."
Whatever.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, our next call, you're like, "So we might take over all the billboards around the country." And then after that, I mean, that was crazy enough. And then after that, you're like, "Oh, we might be able to take over Times Square," and that was just,
Incredible.
yeah, no words to comprehend.
The image in my head is just trying to catch you. So like all the camera equipment.
We had like 10 people there, just like, yeah.
I know. And my kids just, in awe, right? They're like, wow, okay, what next, Mom?
Oh
What next?
man, I
Just
was so out of my element. Like, yeah, I was so scrambled because it was just, there was so much going on. My senses were so heightened, to see I mean, I did finally take a moment to just pause and look at it. Well, which
Hmm.
is ironic because that's the whole
This moment, the one like this, is my favorite.
pause, and I did
Yes.
pause, and to hear the tourists around going, "Whoa, what is that? What is?"
Whoa.
I'm like,
Yeah.
"That's my photo." I was just like, this does not happen to people. I was just really, yeah, pinching myself. Yeah, and it was a great day. It was, I remember the weather was supposed to not work out, and it was just perfect out. So,
It was perfect. Yeah.
um,
Well, thank you, John. I mean, thank you for taking the time to go back in time. I appreciate it so much.
oh, I'm happy to go back in time to talk about that anytime.